Today in geography class, we're going to take a look at the global connections. That is the last part of our study in chapter 8. In that global connections, we're looking at the rainforest resources that the Amazon rainforest provides to the country of Brazil and to the rest of the world. We're going to read through this section and then take a look at two other instances of what Brazil is doing to use these resources appropriately. And then I've got a simulation for you to watch to see the different types of approaches that people can use and what you think is the appropriate way to use the rainforest, and then to apply that skill in terms of studying deforestation and how it's happening in our geography skills activity. Let's jump into our reading for today. Rainforest resources. Many medicines that we use today come from plants found in rainforests. From these plants, we derive medicines to treat or cure diabetes, heart conditions, glaucoma, and many other illnesses and physical problems. Large rainforests. The world's largest rainforests are located in the Amazon Basin in South America, the Congo Basin in Africa, and the Indonesian archipelago in Southeast Asia. The Amazon rainforest makes up more than half of the Earth's remaining rainforest. The plant's lungs. Rainforests are often called the lungs of the planet for their contribution in producing oxygen, which all animals need to survive. The rainforest also provides a home for many people, animals, and plants. Rainforests are an important source of medicine and foods. The Yanomami people. An ancient indigenous people, the Yanomami live in the Amazon rainforest regions of Brazil and Venezuela. For many years, the Yanomami lived in isolation. They rely on the environment for their food, shelter, and medicine. Here's an example of an ancient indigenous people. The Yanomami live in the Amazon rainforest regions of Brazil and Venezuela. For many years, they have lived in isolation, meaning they're away from modern society. Okay? They rely on the environment for their food, shelter, and medicine. Deforestation. Every year, less and less of the rainforest remains. Human activity is the main cause of this deforestation. Humans cut rainforests for grazing land, agriculture, wood, and the land's minerals. Deforestation harms the native peoples who rely on the rainforest. The loss of rainforest also has an extreme impact on the environment because the rich biological diversity of the rainforest is lost as the trees are cut down. Preserving the rainforest. More and more people realize that keeping the rainforest intact is critical. Groups plant trees on deforested land in the hope that the forest will eventually recover. More companies are operating in ways that minimize damage to the rainforest. More research. 30 years ago, very little research on the medicines of the rainforest was being done. Today, many drug companies and several branches of the U.S. government, including the National Cancer Institute, are taking part in research projects to find medicines and cures for viruses, infections, cancer, and AIDS. The next two pages is just an infographic on all the different statistics that the rainforest has to offer. 1.4 billion acres. The Amazon rainforest covers 1.4 billion acres. If the rainforest were a nation, it would be the 13th largest country in the world. Over 7%. Typical tropical rainforests make up about 7% of the world's total landmass, but found within the rainforest are only half of all the known variety of plants. In 1950, rainforests covered about 14% of the Earth's land. Rainforests cover about 7% today. Scientists estimate that at the present rate, all rainforests could disappear from the Earth within 40 years if deforestation continues. But 80% of the diets of developed nations of the world originated in tropical rainforests, including are such fruits as oranges and bananas, corn, potatoes, and other vegetables, and nuts and spices. Today, 120 prescription drugs sold worldwide are derived from rainforest plants. About 65% of all cancer-fighting medicines also come from rainforest plants. An anti-cancer drug derived from a special kind of periwinkle plant has greatly increased the survival rate of children with leukemia. When rainforests are cleared for land, animal and plant life disappears. Almost half of the Earth's original tropical rainforests have been lost. Every year, about 32 million acres, or 50,000 square miles of tropical rainforests are destroyed. That's roughly the area of Nicaragua or the state of Alabama. For centuries, people who live in the rainforest have used plants and other trees to meet their health needs. The World Health Organization estimates that about 80% of the indigenous peoples still rely on traditional medicine. Although ingredients for many medicines come from rainforest plants, less than 1% of plants growing in the rainforest have been tested by scientists for medicinal purposes. The global impact. Rainforests are located in the belt around the Earth near the equator. Here's a picture of where those are, right in this tropical region. Abundant rain, relatively constant temperatures, and strong sunlight year-round are ideal conditions for plants and animals of the rainforest. Rainforests cover only a small part of their surface. The Amazon basin in South America is the world's largest rainforest area, as you can see here, this massive green area. Laboratories provide a research base for scientists to conduct environmental research, and this laboratory in Mumbai attracts rainforest scientists from around the world. So they're testing the different types of plants for their medicinal value. Do they have any type of ingredients in them that would be useful in fighting different types of sicknesses, illnesses, and diseases? We're going to watch a quick little video that shows the process on how actually Brazil, in its country's governing, has flipped its position on deforestation. Some of those statistics said, wow, the rainforest might be gone, but not if you think about and look at the way in which Brazil is actually managing the rainforest. We're going to watch this quick video to show the resources that they're throwing at the stopping of deforestation.
How confident are you that Brazil can successfully protect the Amazon?
Total.
Totally confident.
Total. Você não pode ir para...
You can't go to battle thinking that you are going to lose.
Churchill não acha, não...
That's certainly what Churchill thought.
O Brasil foi ocupado...
In the past, Brazil's forests were cut down because the state wanted them cut down. Now the state has decided it doesn't want that anymore.
But a key problem has always been the sheer size of the Amazon. And there's a big area that's been cleared completely. I can see a logging truck right down there in the clearing. We've just landed the helicopter and the officers are going over to the truck here, which clearly has been, got freshly cut logs on it. So the guys have run off. The guys seem to have run off into the woods. They were here a moment ago. As we landed, they were still here, so they must be around here somewhere. IBAMA has only 6 helicopters and 600 officers in the field at any one time. It has to patrol an area of 4 million square kilometers, the size of a continent. We're about to enter the nerve center of Brazil's operation to stop deforestation. So this is it, is it?
Yes, our situation room.
Your situation room. Well, let's have a look at this. I have to say, it's a little bit disappointing. It looks to me a bit like a call center in a bank or an insurance company, all these guys behind desks. But the new satellite monitoring technology they're using means it's now almost impossible to cut down tracts of the forest without being spotted. How often do you get satellite images?
Each 2 days we receive the detections and we send to our field people.
So you can literally watch deforestation unfolding sitting here at your desk in the middle of Brasilia.
Yes, we can arrive there and punish the people that are doing it.
So you stop them just as they begin to cut the forest?
Yes.
It has made IBAMA much more effective, but the Environment Agency still doesn't get its man every time. Evandro, they've run off.
Yes.
They've run off into the forest. What do we do now?
Eles vão voltar.
Uh-huh.
E a gente vai ficar escondido. Vamos esperar eles aqui.
So we're going to wait here for a bit and see what happens, see whether they come back. I'll be honest, it seemed like a very long shot to me. Ranchers and farmers have traditionally been the baddies in this story, relentlessly cutting down rainforest for cattle or for crops.
Começa aqui, ó.
When Gilmar Bernier arrived here 26 years ago, this whole area was dense rainforest. He's cut most of it down to grow soya. But the combination of tough new government rules and John's silver-tongued persuasion have made him change his ways.
John's idealism has been like a light for us. I have 33% of forest now. I've planted new trees by my streams. The attitude of the farmers here has really changed. Now we want to do the right thing.
loggers did come back. Here's one of them. I think he's a little bit shocked to have been caught by us, and the helicopter's now coming back in. We'll just go and see if the agent's going to catch the other one. Last year saw the lowest level of deforestation in the Amazon since records began in the 80s. Just over 6,000 square kilometres were cut. But it seems that the underlying economics haven't really changed. Does it worry you that you're damaging the forest?
No, a gente sabe que tá errado, né?
I know it's wrong, I've seen it on TV, but what can I do? If I don't work, I don't eat.
Trabalhar não come.
So, Dan, what are you doing?
Well, we're just putting out a little kerosene so the fire can get started.
Dan Nepstad is studying the effect of fire on the forest and the long-term future of the Amazon. He is one of the world's leading forest scientists. It just doesn't feel right playing with matches in the middle of the rainforest, but if you say it's
In the name of science.
It's in the name of science. You're the scientist. There we go.
Why don't you do the honors?
That's very kind of you, Dan. Thank you. So I get the opportunity to set fire to the rainforest, to the Amazon. Incredible as it sounds, he believes it is not too late to save the Amazon. Almost 80% of the forest is still standing. 80%. But he says the battle has reached a crucial phase.
In 6 years, deforestation has come down 70% below the previous 10-year average. So Brazil really needs to be commended and applauded, and this is a huge accomplishment. Whether they can keep it up, that's the big question. There's an alternative pathway, which says the government becomes more lax, the market signal disappears, and it becomes sort of a free-for-all. And decisions made over the next few months will probably determine which direction Brazil goes.
For years, the received wisdom has been that the world's tropical forests are doomed. Well, Brazil is demonstrating that deforestation can be tamed. Now, of course, its achievements are fragile, but it is a cause for hope.
That video shows you the efforts that Brazil has made to reverse their stance on deforestation and to actually find better ways to use this resource that they have. Here's another example of the different ways of thinking that go into how that rainforest can potentially be used.
A tropical rainforest is an area that experiences high temperatures and heavy rainfall. Thick layers of trees and plants grow in this environment. Rainforests are found all along the equator. Over half of them are located here in Brazil. The rainforest is home to thousands of plant and animal species. They contain many important raw materials. How should we use the rainforest? There are many different ideas. Should the rainforest be mostly left alone, leaving the plants and animals there in their natural habitat? Should we use its abundance of resources? What about people who live in the region? How might they choose to use the land and its resources? Different groups can have points of view that may conflict with each other. Here are 3 different groups who have their own ideas about the resources of the rainforest. Choose one group to learn more about their particular point of view. After you watch one point of view, you will have the option of coming back to this screen to watch other perspectives. The rainforest is home to some of the most abundant resources in the world, and these resources can be valuable. Developers and merchants have interests in the raw materials of the rainforest. The success of those businesses provides real benefits to people around the world. In some less developed countries, clearing trees and harvesting these resources can be a significant source of income. Private investors and businesses based in countries throughout the world can spend millions of dollars to access the resources found in the rainforest. These goods can be sold around the world, creating high profit. Industries are built around these resources, which creates jobs. However, many native plants and animals are destroyed due to the harvesting of resources and clearing of land. Some of these plants and animals are important sources of food and medicine to people in the region and also around the world. Also, the rainforest takes a long time to regrow, and deforestation can lead to issues with pollution since rainforests help filter the air. People use the resources of the rainforest for fuel, shelters, and food. Cleared out land can be used for ranching, farming, and settlement. Conservationists feel that it is important to protect and preserve the rainforest. They want people to know that over half of all plant and animal species make their homes in rainforests. Some species haven't even been discovered by scientists yet. The Amazon rainforest alone provides 20% of the world's oxygen. Plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, filtering the air. This is why rainforests are referred to as the lungs of the earth. In 1950, rainforests covered 14% of the planet. Today, they cover 7%. Every second of the day, about 1.5 acres are lost from the rainforest due to deforestation. Companies remove trees for lumber or to make room for other industries. These industries provide jobs and income for the local communities. Rainforests are sometimes also referred to as the pharmacy of the world. Plants and animals of the rainforest have contributed to the development of more than 100 prescription drugs. These include breakthroughs in the treatment of diseases such as malaria and leukemia. Many scientists believe that the keys to finding the cure for cancer could exist somewhere in the rainforest. Indigenous people have lived in the rainforest for thousands of years. Their ways of life depend on the rainforest. Many live by hunting and gathering, fishing, and planting small gardens. They use the rainforest for food, shelter, and fuel. 500 years ago, the estimated population of indigenous tribes in the Brazilian rainforest was as high as 9 million. Today, that number is closer to 250,000. Large-scale logging, ranching, mining, and farming have affected many local communities. When land is cleared for these activities, many indigenous groups lose resources and land to live on. They find their communities shrinking or even disappearing as industries or new farms expand into their homeland. Local people have found many medicinal uses for the plants and animals in the region. A single group might use more than 200 plants or animals as medicines. Researchers, scientists, and others who come in contact with indigenous peoples might learn about these traditional uses for the wildlife of the region and ultimately benefit people around the world with this knowledge. Contact with outsiders, however, sometimes leads to loss of culture or even life for indigenous people. Sometimes generations of knowledge can be lost forever. Decisions about businesses, the environment, and people include many different considerations. Simple answers about what to do are almost impossible when the effects of a decision are both good and bad, depending on different perspectives. People consider their own point of view and the costs and benefits of a decision to make a choice about a complex problem. However, rarely is there a right or wrong answer. Work with a partner or a group. Using a graphic organizer like this one, think about how each point of view is similar and different. After you've collected your information, what conclusions can you draw about the pros and cons of each point of view?
So I want you to think about the ways in which the rainforest is used and how those resources can benefit not only the people that live there, the indigenous people, but other people in the world. What is the appropriate way to go about finding and using those resources without obviously overusing those resources in the form of deforestation? The activity that we're going to learn today is all about reading a bar graph, and this bar graph presents and summarizes information visually. The title tells the subject of the bar graph, and more information is given on its axes. The y-axis is the vertical line along the left side of the graph, and the x-axis is the horizontal line along the bottom. The bars of the white lines are used to compare data, and to read this graph you follow these steps. Read the graph's title, Well, this is all about deforestation of Brazil's Amazon rainforest. Read the labels along the axes. We've got the year here on the x-axis, and we've got the area of deforestation, how much has actually been consumed in each year. Follow the bars to determine and compare the quantity. So you can see from 1998 to what was presented in 2016, how much deforestation has happened in terms of the number of square kilometers that are being used up. Practice the skill. Let's study the bar graph to answer the questions. You can see what's been done in the past, and then now what is the new direction based on the video we watched, that you can see this lower value here that the Brazilian government is taking to make sure that their resources are going to be sustained for years to come. Title of the graph is right here, Deforestation of Brazil's Amazon Rainforest. Number 2, what information does the vertical axis provide? The vertical axis tells you the area of deforestation in square kilometers. Number 3, what information does the horizontal axis? The horizontal tells you what year. Number 4, how many square miles equals 20,000 square kilometers? Here you've got a comparison. 20,000 square kilometers is 7,720 miles. So right here in this parentheses below each of the kilometers, you've got that comparison to what that looks like. And number 5, what do observed and targeted refer to? Observed is what's already happened. This obviously data comes from a time up until 2011 where they had kept track of what had been done, and the idea of being targeted would be, here's what we're going for in the future, 2012 to 2016, as in this has not been observed yet when this data was recorded. Targeted would be the goal that they have versus what's already been done in previous years. Let's apply the skill. Study the bar graph to answer the questions. In what year was the most rainforest deforested? About how much was deforested that year in square kilometers? If we look at the graph, we want to look at the bar that is the highest. It looks like in 1995, in something between 25,000 and 30,000. I'll let you make that estimate on how many square kilometers were taken out of the rainforest. Number 2, in what year was less than 10,000 square kilometers of rainforest actually deforested? Less than 10,000, so we're at this line here, we go all the way across, looks like nothing until 2007, 8, 2009 was the first year, 2010, and then 2011. You see these 3 years trending downward, lower than 10,000 kilometers squared. Number 3, a trend is a general direction in which a process is changing. What was the trend of rainforest deforestation from 2005 to 2009? So from 05, you get this higher amount, and from to 2009, it looks like we're going in this downward direction. So less of the rainforest is being deforested. The trend would be that they are lowering how much they're deforesting or logging off the rainforest. Number 4, what was the trend from 1997 to 2005? What year during this period was an exception to that trend? Exception means the opposite of it. So let's find the trend from 1997 to 2005. Here's 97 and here's 2005. Looks like we're going in this upward trend. The year that would be the exception would be where it goes downward. So we went up, 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 down. The exception would have been in 2001 where you actually had less than the previous year. But obviously that's different from what you see as an overall rise in this data. Number 5, what do the target deforestation figures say about Brazil's intentions for the rainforest deforestation? You might see that this trend says, or this target says, that they're trying to reduce that overall deforestation, which is from that video what we saw. They're taking more of maybe a conservationist approach to say that we need to preserve these resources, we need to do more research. Yes, we can find certain medicines, yes, we can use some of these resources. We've got to make sure that they're preserved for future generations. Hope that helps your understanding of those rainforest resources. Thanks for following along and completing our geography skills activity. God's blessings.